I have spent a great many years in the field of psychoanalysis. I have developed my life to heal the ill, and have asked for no reward. I only seek the sweet sense of accomplishment when I succeed, an addiction well supplied and supported. Despite the lack of respect for my field, I have flourished in the desert, lacking knowledge and acclaim, earning the title of miracle worker. I have done what few others can, giving the gift of sanity to those who froth at the mouth like beasts. I have conquered most every mental illness encountered, no case rejected, and all solved. With the exception of one Brangwen Amherst. Amherst was never one to give any trouble, refreshing in comparison to the others. Amherst never screamed, nor did he bite. He merely sat, always sitting, perched on the edge of his cot like a nervous bird, his mouth, always agape with eyes gleaming, made it seem as if he was lost in a perpetual dream.
Mr. Amherst? Oh, Mr. Amherst will be coming in to take care of you now. Well, I suppose he's better than most patients. Sure, you can suppose, if you like taking care of a dead man. He don't ever move, you know. Can't imagine what made him that way.
That was a question that haunted the staff at Eadig Asylum. What on earth had happened to Brangwen Amherst? A bad spot of meat? A crippling affair? With no family to speak of, it was rather difficult to suss out what had left the man in such a sorry state. And his case was made only more interesting as time passed. The police report claims it was on a brisk night in December. The police had been sent to the Amherst home after the neighbor, Mrs. Beechworth, nosy old crone, had phoned in and inquired after the family.
Oh, officer, it's so unlike her. Lenore, sweet girl, would never miss the Sunday service. In the past 3 years I've known her, never has she missed the Sunday service. Set an old woman's heart to rest and call on her, won't you? She's frail of health and such a strange husband she has. Won't you call on her?
Call on her they did. The constable arrived at the fine brownstone and knocked for a while with no reply.
Hello? Hello?
He knocked again. No response.
Hello? Hello?
Suspicious. The husband had been deemed strange after all. He circled the house, discovering that the parlor windows had been left open. Peering through the rustling purple curtains, he saw naught but shadows.
Hello? Hello? It's the police. Is anyone there? Your window is open. Ah!
That was when he discovered the crumpled form of Mrs. Amherst. Quickly running around the house and bursting through the door, he found the man unshaven and glassy-eyed, sprawled on his chamber floor. After making a quick scan of the upstairs, he discovered the wife still in the bed, pale and stiff with rigor mortis. Reinforcements were called, and Mr. Amherst was taken to the station. The police, inept in every situation, thought they would be able to collect a statement, trying to blame him for the crime. The fools! It was only by God's grace that the man wasn't hung and instead sent to Eadig. It was only after having him with us for so long that I came to understand there was little that would help him. A shining defeat that I never would have realized if not for that fateful night.
Doctor, there's something terribly wrong with patient 120.
Patient 120? You mean Mr. Amherst?
Yes, that's the one. We must hurry.
Mr. Amherst? Mr. Amherst, are you there?
Dr. Blaint, please. He was walking around and acting ever so strange. You must hurry.
Yes, Amelia, I understand. Mr. Amherst, I have my key out and I would like to come in. 'Tis some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more. Sir, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I was scarce sure I heard you. Oh, well, that's fine, Mr. Amherst.
Doctor, I don't think he's speaking to us.
In those moments, I found this to be true, as the patient merely squinted into the darkness, as if nothing were there, before whispering, "Lenore!" He then slammed the door shut, leaving the nurse and myself in such a state of shock that we only entered the room after hearing the renewed muttering of our patient. We found him speaking to a patch of shadow above the chamber door. "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." I suppose it was then that I should have known. I could only tend to the insane, but never would I be able to successfully cure a man of shattered hope and splintered heart. Mrs. Beechworth, Mr. Amherst's neighbour, had claimed him to be rather odd. I suppose he was, as he had never had many companions, and the few he had been recorded to have passed long before him. There were journals found scattered round the house, years after his incarceration, describing his sorry state. He was truly a miserable man, the only sunshine in his life coming from his beloved Lenore. He said he saw a window, a door in which the light would come in. He said he saw a hopeful future. I can only imagine the despair he felt when the woman died. My staff had expected many different things, perhaps a bystander in an unfortunate event, or a man who had mixing in with the wrong people. We had never thought it to be the case of a man who torched his soul with the turbulence of his mind. Brangwen's fits continued throughout the night. The nurse and I could only watch to prevent physical injury. We were of no help to a man lost to a tempest of his own sorrows. He started to bellow, a sound akin to the awful speech of a vengeful fowl.
Prophet, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil.
The night was long as the poor man suffered, tormented by his passes. Only after the sun rose, falling onto his pallid, ghost-like face, that the man finally died. Sprawled on the chamber floor, the nurse and I watched as he raised his head to the light one last time, the whispered name slipping from his lips. "Lenore!"